what I do, like, it's not for me. Like, I'm not a wrestler. So everything I do, I really just want to elevate and put people in better positions and the best way I can. Okay.
The Wrestling Realm presents Wrestling for the Culture, where we highlight pro wrestlers and pro wrestling personalities of color. Here's your host, Brian H. Waters. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this episode of Wrestling for the Culture. I'm your host, Brian H. Waters. And on today's episode, I have the promoter of Hit Club Pro, the one and only Miss Suzette Victoria. Suzette, how you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. We met at Fight Club in DC a few what was that? I can't even remember. I think that was like February. And then obviously at
Yeah.
Wale Mania and WrestleMania weekend. But you've been busy, getting ready for the show. How you been? How you been before we get into all the questions and stuff?
I've been good. I'm doing a lot of traveling with modeling and before with wrestling too. I've been trying to go everywhere and just catch all the shows and take in as much as possible. But I'm doing great. I'm excited.
Now, how in the world do you balance both? Because both are demanding.
Yeah, like sometimes with modeling, you have a slow period. Like holiday season, when I was planning the first show, I was like, I'm taking advantage of this because, the other clients are out, for the holidays. So I was like, I have time to really dedicate every day to this. But yeah, lately it's been pretty crazy. So I'm just like, ugh. But look, wrestling is one of those things you have to love it in order to do it. If you don't love it, you're not gonna dedicate.
Yeah, you're not lying. I want to ask you 'cause I know, like, watching some of your interviews and stuff. Shout out to Black Wrestling, shout out to We Love Wrestling. The family they in the intro for a reason. What was your first wrestling memory? Tell people your first wrestling memory.
First wrestling memory. I want to say my mom switching between Nitro and like just the Monday Night Wars, if not
Mhm.
her crying over Starcade, because I want to say Scott Hall got Goldberg with the stun
Yep.
gun. She was upset about that. She
Oh
cried
wow.
because I hate to say this, maybe she was going through menopause and just really emotional because when he stopped in the middle of his entrance to sign the little boy's autograph, she just started crying. She thought it was the sweetest, cutest thing in the world. So I'll always remember that. So it's between that and switching between Monday Night Wars.
Do you ever like go back and watch some of the stuff like now you're as an adult and try to piece it together like, okay, this is what I do remember as a child. Oh, this memory is coming back to me.
Oh yeah, I'm always going back on YouTube and just watching older flicks. I mean, all that stuff was on like VHS when we had it. So obviously I wouldn't, or I mean, I could, but that's a lot of work. So I just go on YouTube and I
Yeah,
just try to
YouTube.
find old clips. It's very nostalgic, actually.
Hmm. Yeah, it can be very therapeutic sometimes. You get into going down a rabbit hole of YouTube, next thing you know, they putting on something else. I like last 2 weekends ago, my sister was doing my hair and I put on like some old wrestling and she doesn't watch it anymore, but growing up we would watch it together. And she's like, "Oh, I remember this, I remember that." And then the next show is something else that's similar
Hmm.
and you know how the algorithm works. Do you have a moment that you cherish as far as like with your family growing up watching wrestling with your family? Is there like a special moment that you remember besides the Goldberg and Scott Hall and Kevin Nash incident?
Um, I think the first time we all went to a live show, we went to Raw in 2003. I want to say it was like August 25th. I remember because Moolah sent us the tickets.
Nice.
Um, and they were doing her live birthday celebration. And Randy Orton RKO'd her. And I was so mad at him. So I'll never forget that. But I just remember sitting there by like the camera guys. Well, we were sitting hard, not hard camera, so opposite of hard camera, but I remember seeing where the hard camera was and just like, just taking that. Like, it was my first event, so the fireworks back then were really loud. The pyro, so that was pretty electrifying.
Now, do you remember the age where you were smart enough to the business?
When I was smart enough to, I don't know. I think I kind of always knew the tea, if I shall say.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I always kind of knew because my mom would talk about wrestlers like they were people. She would talk about stuff like okay, so I remember the dirt sheets coming in the mail, like
Oh,
folded
wow.
up, like I don't remember what it was, but I remember it was like a folded up paper almost, is what it looked like.
Mhm.
Um, so she would try to she would be talking about the scoop and stuff. So I'm like, okay, so these are real people. But I don't know. I feel like I
You're
always kind of knew.
you're probably the first person that I've talked to, in, like, that says they can remember the dirt sheets as a child, like, coming to the mail. That is classic.
Really? And I'm
I
not that old, but I definitely remember.
Yeah, like, most people, because I guess most everybody talk about, getting it as when they got older or going on the internet, but I don't think anybody's parents was getting the dirt sheets that, if anybody I talked to.
I think it was Dave Meltzer that was writing it. I mean, I could be wrong. She probably had a few coming in because she got all the
Mhm.
magazines too. Every magazine, Raw magazine, SmackDown magazine, the Pro Wrestling Observer, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, all that stuff. Like, she got all that.
So you didn't stand a chance. You was born in as a fan.
Yeah, well, my mom was a super fan and she wanted to wrestle. So
Oh.
I don't think I had a chance. Either
Oh,
way,
that's
wrestling was gonna be part of my life one way or the other.
yeah, that's awesome. Now you mentioned on Black Wrestling that grew up with like Mae Young and Moolah, right?
Yeah, somewhat. They were definitely
Okay.
a part of my childhood. Um,
Hmm.
Learned a lot for the time I did get to spend with them. Yeah, that was crazy. I don't tell a lot of people, just because it just comes with so many questions, and they're like, "What?" And then I don't want people to think I'm using anyone's name or anything for clout because everything I did do on my own. So,
Oh, certainly.
but I have to always give them credit just for the love and the things I did learn from them.
You got any favorite moments with them, like not wrestling related?
Hmm. Let's see. Um, I remember she got us these huge teddy bears for Christmas. They were like huge Christmas bears. It was a guy and a girl, one for my brother and one for me. And they were huge. I still have pictures of the Christmas card, but I remember that. That was like the cutest thing. It's like a big white teddy bear with like a red, like Santa cape on it. It was too cute.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
just, yeah, she was just a sweet Southern lady. It's crazy because she can play a heel so well, but she's like the sweetest lady. I have a couple of stories that I feel like people wouldn't even believe, but
Nah, I feel you. Now, what made you decide to pursue an in-ring career? Now, obviously, you growing up, but what was the like moment where you decided you wanted to train? Because I know you trained a little bit. Well, you trained. Sorry.
um, I mean, I think I made the decision very early. I was like, okay, I have to be part of wrestling. I was like, okay, I'm gonna wrestle. Like, I was obsessed with Victoria. I like China. I like the tough girls. Of course, Trish and Lita loved them. Um, Even Sable, I liked her. Like, just her like sultry, like sex appeal. Um, I don't know. I know I said on my 18th birthday or when I turned 18, I was gonna go train.
Hmm.
Um, So yeah, I did. I'd always like it was kind of like I always promised my mom. I was like, I'm gonna do this. You didn't get to wrestle, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna live your dream for you. And um, yeah, I went to high spots. I can't remember who told me about high spots, and I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I want to say it was Lady Tappa. Like, I think I added her. I saw her on Impact, and I was like, wow, she's amazing. Added her on
Hmm.
Facebook like a weirdo. Um, and we were just like, I think I messaged her, and I think she mentioned high spots or something. So I think I called, and someone was like, "Yeah, Caleb Conley does one-on-one." I think if I'm remembering correctly, that's kind of how it went. And then boom, I was too chicken to do a group class, so he hooks me up with some one-on-ones, and shout out to him because, man, yeah.
Do you miss being in the ring?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So is there a chance?
It is. It
Okay.
is. It is. I said I
Well,
wouldn't do promoting and wrestling. And everyone's
mhm.
like, well, you can do both. And I'm like, oh, goodness. But there is a chance.
Well, we're gonna reserve a spot before if it happens or when it happens. We're gonna reserve a spot so you can come back on Wrestling for the Culture and hype up the match. Do you
Hey, let's do it.
now? When did you decide that you wanted to go the promoter route?
I mean, I knew when I was a kid I was going to be a promoter. It's
Nice.
crazy. Like, I knew I was going to be a wrestler, but like, my brother and I used to do we like had our own shows. We had our own promotion. We had locations. We would like build the arenas with like old VHS tapes and books. And we had like 50 action figures, and they were all their own characters. And we had like all the Now CDs. Like, remember like Now
Yep.
11 and all this. Yeah, and we would like, they all had entrance music. Like, we like had our promotion in our heads. And I think I always kind of knew. I was like, I said when I was probably like 8, I was like, man, I could be a wrestling promoter. But I started doing production, and I said one day I'm gonna merge. I'm gonna turn it somehow. It's gonna be involved with wrestling. And then
Mhm.
I just kind of reconnected with some people in the wrestling world, and I was going to some local shows like in Tennessee and stuff, and I was like, I don't know, it's just like so many things were aligning. I was like, this is what I'm meant to do. I've been questioning and like praying to God and trying to figure out what my purpose is. What am I supposed to be doing? And it just clicked, and I was like, yeah, just do it.
Now, when
Like,
you when you talking about like growing up and creating your own promotion, did you get into the video games at all and like get on GM mode a little bit?
GM mode, kind of, sort of. I definitely did a create a wrestler all the
Yeah.
time. Um, GM mode, yeah, somewhat. It's crazy. I still listen to the SmackDown versus Raw soundtracks, but yeah, I was just, I don't know. That was my training, my promoter and training
Nah,
courses.
that's
So.
nah, that's awesome. Now, when and you talked about just like growing up, you and your brother, uh, you know, creating your own promotion. What's his reaction when you jumped into this business as a promoter?
He was like, wow, that's cool. Like, he didn't really know. I told my mom at WrestleCade, I took her to WrestleCade as a surprise because she's obsessed with Sting, and Sting was there. And
Mhm.
even though she met him before, it's like she never met him before. So I broke the news to her there in the hotel, and she was like, what? That's amazing. Because I guess she kind of noticed I'm there as a fan, but I'm just very observant and just kind of networking. But it was mostly for her. So my brother, I think she told my brother, and my brother was like, "Wow, that's dope." But as he's like looking on Facebook, and I'm taking my mom places, and my mom's like telling him like, "Hey, she's really doing this."
Mhm.
He wants to be a part of it some way too. So I'm gonna find something for him.
That's awesome. Now, you said you did some production. Um, did you ever like think about pursuing like getting into producing maybe like wrestlers entrance videos or promos or content? Have you done some of that work as well?
I definitely want to. I try not to load myself with too much, but that's
Mhm.
definitely the plan. Not to give too much away, but for future shows, we're definitely trying to add some cinematic elements, if that makes sense. Kind of
Oh,
making it into movies almost, as far as like promos and just content leading up to it. But I do have someone that is working on that for me, so just not
nice,
to
nice.
overwhelm myself. The first show is extremely overwhelming, but I do. I love film, so I do want to somehow put both together.
Yeah, and that's the beauty about wrestling that I've learned. Like you can do so much. Like I remember the first time I put together a highlight reel for Amber Rodriguez, and it was just literally just something I put together for her. And next thing I know, I turn on like one of her matches, and she used it as an interest video. I'm like, wow, like it was the coolest thing in the world. Um,
Right.
and you talked about like just like the wrestling soundtracks. I gotta ask you, what's your favorite theme music of all time?
Favorite theme music. Well, one of the top ones I probably can't mention.
Oh,
Um,
that's up to you. You can mention it if you want. That's up to you.
oh, I mean, come on now. Chris Benoit was fire. Let's
Okay.
be
Well, I mean,
real.
we're talking about, Our Lady of Peace in this situation, right? That one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we talking.
Yeah,
So
whatever.
it's the artist.
That's one of them for sure. Dang. Um,
I've definitely blasted that one recently. I like I
it
like
was on the
the
forcible
song.
entry CD
Yep.
that they released. Trust me, we had all of them.
It's
Dang, there's
finally
some
like
good ones.
I don't talk to too many people who like collected the CDs as much as I have. So it's like it's really cool to have this conversation.
Someone tweeted because, like, like John Cena's 20-year, celebration, and someone's like, "Who went out and bought his CD?" And I'm like, me. Like my brother and I definitely had it. So
Yeah, definitely. But yeah,
reckless
so like, cause
intent, all of those.
oh yeah, definitely. I know we did a show at church one time, and I took it was it had to been yeah, it was volume 4. So this is 2000, summer 2000. Me and my god brother was the tag team, and we was going against like two other of our friends, and it was like doing vacation Bible school.
Hmm.
And I remember, you remember when The Rock had the breakaway pants? So I wore those, and I
Oh,
and I was The Rock, and I remember, one of my other boys was Mankind as the referee, and I forgot who my god brother was, but either way, I won the match, and we played the CD, and it was real cool. So it's nothing like having those CDs. It
exactly. I wonder what I use as my entrance music. But I know because a couple of times my brother and I did have matches. We would bring the mattress in the living room, and
Mhm.
my mom volunteered to referee before. So, yeah, those were the good
What?
old days.
Wow. See,
She was a team player. She was like, I got y'all. We
yeah.
schedule it. It was, yeah.
That is that is awesome. Because most times people like, my mother we had to wait till my mother went to sleep. Like that's what me and my godbrother would do. We wait till my godparents went to sleep, bring the mattress in the basement, boom, play the song, come out, match. Your mother was like the referee. Now, did she ever mix it in? Like, did she ever take a ref bump?
No, I don't think she ever took a. I mean, I know my brother has tried to practice moves on her before, but
Hmm.
I guess that was just training. So that wasn't during a match. I don't think she's interfered. She's a pretty clean referee. She's not like one of the Hebners or anything. Yeah.
Oh boy, that was like perfect time. um, no, because like so at on the shoot job at the Ringer, we're doing the Book of Wrestling, and the next episode is the Brett Screw Brett. So when you brought up the Hebners, I'm like, because that's what I've been doing like all day doing work is like putting these interviews together. So you bring that up,
Mhm.
I'm like, wow, and I was just listening to Gerald Briscoe talk about Earl Hebner.
Right. I mean, I probably could have like bribed her into like somehow, you know,
Hmm.
get me over, but she was a pretty clean rep, and I'm pretty sure I was always the face, so I couldn't do the dirty moves anyways.
Yeah. So so far, what's been your most rewarding moment as a promoter?
Um, I think seeing fans, like whether they message me privately or when they post about Hit Club, and just like even at the first show, there were fans who were like, "You're coming back, right? Coming back to Greensboro, right?" And I can't wait for the next one, and um, just like the instant support. I think that has been the most rewarding because at the end of the day, it's for them,
Hmm.
and it's for um, other wrestlers. Like there's a lot of wrestlers who in the North Carolina scene They've been kind of overlooked and underbooked, so to say. So just to
Yeah.
know I'm giving them matches that they've wanted for so long, and to feel like their work has paid off in some way, shape, or form. It's just really rewarding. It's like I tell people, like, what I do, like, it's not for me. Like, I'm not a wrestler, so everything I do, I really just want to elevate and put people in better positions and the best way I can. Like, I'm still new. I'm still learning. But who knows where Hit Club could go? The growth, who knows where we would be in a year from now, 2 years, 5 years. You never know. But um, just to feel appreciated and for people to see that it's all good intention, and it's for the people. It's for the wrestlers. It's for us to grow.
Yeah. I can definitely tell you you have the wrestling realm support. So
I
I'm excited
appreciate
to
that.
see. Yeah, absolutely. So you got a show coming up, No Regrets. We know about Trisha Dora, Savannah Evans, AC Mack. Who's on there? Who are some people you think that we need to be aware of, and we will be after this show?
Um, Well, going back to the first show, I think I mentioned this before, but Cam Jackson and Myron Reed put on one hell of a match. Cam Jackson is definitely someone you don't want to count out.
Hmm.
Extremely talented. He has been for a while, so he's someone I'm really excited to kind of put the spotlight on. Um, we have a couple of some tag team action. Um, Black Jack is another one in North Carolina. He's just overall different, but his range, for him to be considered one of the bigger guys, his ability in the ring and all that, I don't want that to be underestimated at all. I mentioned another tag team. They're called Top Team. It's Kid Teriyaki, Jay Lucas, Dante Darko, and Larry Lazar. They're four kids out of Atlanta, extremely talented. Um, I can only imagine where they're going to be in the next few years. Exotic Youth is extremely amazing, and I'm really trying to build the women's division. So we got some cool things with that. Savannah Evans and La Rosa Negra, I already know they're going to tear the
Hmm.
house down with that one. So
Yeah, Rosa's someone who I'm happy to see, like, in our community, people give her flowers because I mean she's a legend,
mhm.
and I'm happy to see, like, I see a lot of the ladies give her flowers because she deserves it.
Yeah. And I know Savannah has been wanting, a lot of people have been wanting to see that match. So it's just crazy that it
Mhm.
hasn't been done yet. And I'm like, okay, I really want to make a statement with the women's division, anyways. And Savannah, I've always loved Savannah. So I'm excited about that one. There's quite a few people that are just gems in the wrestling world, like Alexander Moss. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's really dope. I mean,
Okay,
everyone's just cool and easy to work with. So yeah.
and that's the part that's really important. Um, is there anybody that you have on a wish list that's not
Oh
on this
yeah.
show? That's
Well, okay. So to start off, I do have Moses from
yeah,
Same Taylor Promotions.
yep.
So it would be amazing to get the rest of them. I don't want to give anything away, but
Hey.
if I can get them, if I can get
Mhm.
everybody, then I'm willing to invest on their opponents for sure. I'll just put
Let,
it
let,
that way.
let me ask you something. In attempt to not put myself over too much. But I'm in need of a rematch. I don't know if you saw when Jay
Yeah.
Bougie. Yeah, you saw they made me wear the Crocs, but you saw the
Mm-hmm.
flaming Croc, right?
Yeah.
And, and
Mm-hmm.
what was I supposed? I had to count the one, two, three.
Yeah.
I had to. Anyway, we
Did your
can.
job.
Thank you. Anyway, we can get that at Hit Club Pro.
Yeah. I was looking at that and I was like, you know what?
Cause
You
I think I
know,
need a good promoter I can trust.
yeah. Yeah, see, you can trust me. And see, I don't care what Ron or Jay Bougie talking about. We're gonna do things the way it's supposed to be done.
Okay.
So I mean, hey, I
All
think
right.
we can make that happen for sure.
There we go. All right. we're gonna
And you
we're gonna make this.
don't listen to them. You don't have to wear no Crocs if you don't want to.
All right. You know, cool. And you know, but I did make a deal. Because I told Jay Bougie, I said, look, y'all gonna have a rematch. I will wear the Crocs and count you out 1, 2, 3 in a fair count. But I'm confident that Ron in a one-on-one match with no interference will be able to get it done the next time.
Okay. Okay, well, let's do that. Let's do that.
All right.
Let's do
So
that.
yeah, there we go. All right, we're gonna make it happen. Before we get out of here, let me have some wrestling questions for you. What's your favorite era?
Favorite era? I have to say the era I grew up in, like end of attitude, but like ruthless aggression.
Okay.
I mean, I think I'm kind of biased, because
Yeah.
that was. I mean, you have to think about it. Look at all the people we got in one show. You might
Mhm.
get Triple H, Ric Flair, Undertaker. You might get Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash. You might get every Stone Cold and The Rock, all of them
Yeah.
in the same show, same night. And now the thought of that is just crazy. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to say we didn't appreciate it because we were loyal. Like, we watched it every Monday and everything. But yeah, like, just the thought of that is crazy.
I was back playing SmackDown, was it Shut Your Mouth? And that
Yeah.
roster was crazy with all the wrestlers you just named. And you think back like, wow, this was, and it felt like it was like that, but when you really think
Yeah.
about like, it
To
was
think that
that
was
was
20 years ago. Like, what?
mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I love Here Comes the Pain.
Yeah, yeah, me too. But uh, Here Comes the
Shut Your
Pain
Mouth
had
was
like, huh?
Shut Your Mouth, it was good too. They were around the same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, Here
2000.
Come the Pain was like everything that was like may been lacking in Shut Your Mouth. They flushed it out with Here Comes the Pain. Have you played WWE 2K22?
I haven't. I haven't
Okay,
played in a while, actually. I think the last one I had might have been like 2010.
got you.
Yeah, so
Yeah, my daughter
the,
enjoys playing it, and she's 7. And at this moment, her dream is to be tag team champions with Bianca Belair.
oh.
So she's created herself, and I did the whole face thing and put her on the game. And next thing I know, she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna change my hair, and I'm gonna change this." And she'll play with her brother, but he's 12, and she'll make him do a mixed tag match because she don't want to face against
Hey, you gotta be a team player now. Come on.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to get a couple this or that's real quick. Couple
Uh-oh.
wrestlers. So this is a tough one. Jaclyn or Jazz?
Ah, come on. You really gonna make me do this right now? Oh my goodness.
I mean, everybody says Trish or Lita, which is coming up next, but I want Jaclyn or
Oh,
Jazz.
come on. This is so hard. Oh gosh. Okay. Jaclyn or Jazz? Um, Jaclyn, I don't think she's appreciated enough, but Jazz was tough. Like
Mhm.
nobody was touching Jazz. Like you look at her and you're like, So I
Yeah.
might have to go with Jazz.
Okay. And what about
But I
Trish or
mean, but
Lita?
Jaclyn, when she went to
Oh,
Impact or TNA, you
yeah.
know, we saw a different side of her. I was like, oh.
And she
So
gave us a
yeah.
taste as a cruiserweight champion.
Hmm?
I said she gave us a taste when she was cruiserweight champion. I think
Yeah.
like my first memory of her might have been when she was in WCW and she power slammed the guy on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they was both tough. And we need to see Jazz in the Hall of Fame. We seen
Oh yeah.
Jaclyn. We need to see Jazz in the
Hmm.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Jazz was
All right,
just she's a legend for sure.
absolutely. All right, so what about Trish or Lita?
I'm gonna have to say Trish.
Okay.
Yeah. That and it's not easy, Trish. Lita, I love you too. Um, I mean, because I was kind of boyish like Lita, but Trish was just like she was beauty brain. She was tough. She was sexy. She was I mean, just she was a great heel. Everyone loved her as a face. Um, just watching her grow in the ring. I don't know. It's just she set the standard for sure.
Yeah.
But Lita
All
was
right.
all those things as well now. But I might have imitated Trish just a little more.
I mean, there's no wrong answers with any of them, you know. It's just, you know, it's always
It's
just
so
fun to
hard because they're both great for their own reasons, and
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna go with two guys who are gonna be in the Hall of Fame in the future, but you know, they're both former recent WWE champions. Bobby Lashley or Big E?
Bobby Lashley or Big E. Man, this is unfair. You know that? Damn. It's hard. Okay, I don't know. Like, just who do I like better, or
Yeah.
um, I like them both for different reasons. Like, okay, Bobby Lashley is just. I mean, you look at him and you're like, oh my gosh, right? Biggie, I
Mhm.
appreciate him because he didn't necessarily come in swinging. Like Bobby Lashley, I feel like as soon as he came in, he was up there, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. But um, I guess I'm more of a Lashley fan. I feel like I remember when Biggie, when he was with Dolph and everything, and then him, being in New Day. But I don't know. I guess I'm more of a serious wrestler type of person,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So you said there's no wrong answer, so I'm just go with Lashley.
All right. And this is the one that everybody gets hit with. Rock or Stone Cold?
Do I have to answer this one? Man, see, this is so hard. I might have to say Stone Cold.
Okay. I go back and forth. I'm more of a rock fan, but I go back and forth.
I love The Rock. He was
Yeah.
extremely entertaining, extremely. And
Hmm.
I was just watching something I think yesterday. I
Yeah.
can't remember what it was, but I don't know. Oh, I think it was like a battle royal or something. And it was like Booker and Triple H, something like that. But I was like, damn, this guy was so good. But
Hmm.
like just his enthusiasm and charisma. But Stone Cold was just different. He was supposed to be hated, but everybody loved him, and he was just like how he was with Vince, and it was just always like he didn't even have to do anything. Like that
Yeah.
he. I don't think there could be another Stone Cold.
Yeah, that's we Black Russell Fest that came up, that question. And I was trying to like articulate that, but to say like there can't be another Stone Cold. You could say there can't be another Rock, but you can go from Hollywood and I mean wrestling to Hollywood. We've seen that. We haven't seen somebody perfectly execute the employee versus the boss storyline. And like you
Oh
said,
God.
to sell out arenas, glass break, and everybody just get up, at
And just to be
WrestleMania.
a rebel, just to be a
Yeah.
rebel, just
Yeah,
to
I mean,
not give a damn factor. Like it just seemed authentic too. It wasn't gimmicky at all. Like, and then his story, like coming in when he did the 316 whole thing when he won King of the Ring, and when he did the interview and he was bashing, ECW and WCW. When he was doing all of that, it just felt real, and it was like, okay, this is him. He's mad. He's hungry. He's ready, and it was like a shoot interview kind of, and all of that coming into it. It was just, he never changed characters or anything. The Rock didn't either, but it was, I don't know, just everything. It's just like, just even him with Mike Tyson. It was like, who does that?
mhm.
Like, he'll always be a legend. It's just,
I I mean, WWE was lucky at that time, certainly, to have two megastars at the same time. You know,
Yeah.
where because like let's be real, you had Hogan, but as much as people love Macho Man, if he wasn't like if you had like an A and B show, house shows, you could put Austin on one and Rock and they still would both sell out. They wasn't
Right.
doing that with Hogan and Savage, you know. Even with
Hmm.
Bret at the top, Shawn had to come up to Bret. You know, Bret got there first. So, you know,
Right.
at that time they had two megastars at the same time. And then the last one, two of them that just celebrated 20 years, John Cena or The Rock. I mean, John Cena or Randy Orton.
Whew. Man. I'm gonna have to say, damn, Randy. I mean, no, John Cena, don't get me wrong. Like him, the whole Doctor of Thugonomics, that was dope.
Hmm.
And just how he's grown as a wrestler is crazy too. But I have to say, I'm a Randy Orton fan. Like, I absolutely hated him back in like '03. I thought he was just obnoxious and just, but like the Legend Killer, I thought it was like he was really good. And then he kind of turned into um the Viper, and then it just that elevation. He's always been amazing in the ring. Um, Amazing promos, always had amazing storylines. Um, that's such a hard one because they're great for different reasons, and John Cena has never been a heel really.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's hard. And maybe I'm biased because I've always liked the heel.
Well, I mean,
I
it's nothing
always
wrong
loved
with
the
this.
person that
This is
everyone wants to hate.
your opinion.
Man, I don't know. I might have to say Randy.
Okay. Now you say you was always biased towards the heel, even as a child, or
I
did it
think
switch?
so. Like
Okay.
Triple H, like that '03 era, like him and Goldberg and stuff. It was like, okay, yeah, like I hate him, right? But if he comes out, I'm
Hmm.
gonna cheer, like, because it's
Right.
Triple H, like such a good heel. Like I'm talking about like hair blown out Triple H with the shades, like
Mm.
Evolution Triple H, like that era. Yeah, he was like huge.
Yeah. Well, Suzette, I definitely appreciate your time. Let the people know where they can find you.
Okay, for sure. You can find me on Instagram at Suzette Victoria. I'm on Twitter at _Suzette V. You can also find at Hit Club Pro on all social media platforms. Yeah, check me out. We're on YouTube, IWTV, hitclubpro.com. Check out some content and things we have coming up.
Yeah. Make sure y'all check out the show. No Regrets. That's July 29th, correct?
Yep, Friday, July 29th in Greensboro,
Yeah.
North Carolina.
Yeah. Make sure y'all check that out. You know, the link is in the bio. So when you look on this show, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Apple, Spotify, Google, the link is right there. Just click it, buy your tickets, get more information about Hit Club Pro. So
Amen.
Suzette,
Thank you so much.
no problem. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you as well.